Have you ever felt like you're giving it your all, but something invisible seems to be holding you back? As if no matter how hard you try, nothing takes off. The money disappears, opportunities pass you by, and you feel a weight on your chest, like something's out of place, but you can't tell what. Now imagine this. You wake up tomorrow, and for no apparent reason, everything starts to flow. You feel lighter. You receive a message you've been waiting for months. An unexpected deposit hits your account, and that old problem simply disappears. It feels like luck, but it's something else. There's a simple ritual, ancient, discreet, forgotten by many, that can activate this alignment. And the most curious part? It begins with something so small, it fits in the palm of your hand. What if I told you that this transformation begins with something that fits right in your hand? For centuries, across different parts of the world, a small object was used in silent ceremonies. It wasn't in books. It wasn't sold in storefronts. It was passed from master to student, from mother to daughter, like an invisible code among those who understood the power of subtle energy. This object was simple, even ordinary to those who couldn't truly see, but those who learned how to use it properly accessed a force that couldn't be seen, only felt, a force that activates when the body rests and the mind enters a receptive state. Ancient spiritual leaders used it for protection, healers to attract abundance, monks to maintain the flow of life energy. It was guarded carefully, almost like a family secret, because in the right hands it could transform destinies. Today, that secret has reached you, and it doesn't matter what your religion, country, or age is. The energy it activates speaks a universal language, the language of intention. But here's the thing, just owning it isn't enough. You have to know what to do with it. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you, in every detail. If there's a true desire within you to shift your financial energy and to make space for something new to enter, write this in the comments now. I open myself to abundance while I sleep. It's not just a phrase, it's a key. When you declare it, something shifts, because in writing it, you stop being just a spectator and become an active part of the process. You give the universe permission. You send a signal, and that quiet commitment begins to align your energy with what you want to attract. Now imagine an invisible thread connecting distant places, forgotten villages in Nepal, ancient markets in Morocco, religious festivals in Israel, silent ceremonies in the heart of India. All these places with their different beliefs, languages, and gods, all holding on to the same symbol, the same object, the red thread. At first glance, it seems insignificant, a piece of cotton or wool, twisted, ordinary. But this thread carries something most people never notice, living proof that the invisible connects what appears to be separate. Among Jewish rabbis, it's tied to the left wrist for protection against negative energy, what they call the evil eye. In Hinduism, it's tied during ceremonies as a spiritual commitment to the divine. In Tibetan Buddhism, monks bless it with mantras and give it as a blessing. And even outside of religion, There are records of the red thread in shamanic rituals, Afro-descendant traditions, and even European occult practices. How can a simple thread cross such different cultures and still hold the same meaning? The answer lies in what the eyes can't see: ritualistic intention. Psychology calls this symbolic anchoring. The brain associates a physical object with an emotional state or a deep intention, and with repetition, it stops being just an object. It becomes a trigger, a silent reminder, a personal field of energy. The red thread isn't magic. It's a mirror. It reflects what you put into it. And that's why it works. When you tie the thread with presence, your body understands that something has begun. Your nervous system prepares for a new response. Without even realizing it, you enter a state of positive expectancy. And there's a scientific name for this: the reticular activating effect. Your brain starts spotting signs, opportunities, and connections that were always there, but you just couldn't see. It might seem like a coincidence, but it's really just expanded focus. That's why, in so many cultures, it's used during sleep, because sleep is when the conscious mind quiets, and the unconscious, which governs 95% of your life, takes over. It's in that state that suggestion sinks in more deeply. It's in that moment the ritual happens, even if you don't do anything else. While you sleep, your energy works. The thread becomes an invisible password to the universe, a reminder that you're open, that you've said yes to the new, that you're ready to receive. And here's a detail few people notice, but it changes everything. You don't have to believe. You just have to be willing. Faith, in this case, isn't a requirement. It's a result. Because as the results begin to show, small, subtle, but real, your confidence grows, and the thread, which used to be just a piece of fabric, becomes your personal symbol of rebirth. If so many people, in so many places, over so many centuries, use this same object, it's because something about it works. Something that goes beyond words, beyond logic. Something that speaks directly to the most subtle part of you. And maybe that's why you're here. Maybe something inside you recognizes this symbol, even without knowing how. Maybe your soul is responding to the silent call of this ritual that has crossed time, just to find you now. And if this is resonating with you, even if you can't explain why, it's because the ritual has already begun. Sarah was 60 years old when she decided to try, and it wasn't out of curiosity. It was from exhaustion. For decades, she had done everything she was taught, studied, worked, saved, but still, life felt stuck. It wasn't from lack of effort. It was as if there was an invisible layer between her and the opportunities. She watched things happen for others. For her, nothing flowed. She woke up with anxiety, went to sleep with worry. And in the middle of it all, one question consumed her. Why does it always seem harder for me? One ordinary afternoon, having coffee with a childhood friend, something unexpected happened. The friend mentioned, almost jokingly, a ritual she'd learned from an old healer in a remote village in South America. She said it was simple, symbolic, but powerful. Sarah smiled skeptically. She had already tried everything: coaching, courses, even astrological maps. Why would a red thread make any difference? But her friend insisted, "You don't need to believe. You just need to try. It's like planting an invisible seed and letting it work for you while you sleep." That night, something inside Sarah, maybe the exhaustion, maybe the hope, decided to give it a try. She took a piece of red thread, tied 3 knots, each one with an intention, cleared her mind, placed the thread under her pillow, and went to sleep. The next day, everything seemed the same, but she noticed something subtle. For the first time in a long while, she woke up in peace. She didn't know why. She just felt relief in her body, as if she'd left something behind in her sleep. 2 days later, an old email was finally answered. A job proposal she had considered lost resurfaced. On the 4th day, an unexpected amount hit her account. Small, but enough to breathe. By the end of the week, her daughter called saying she had landed an important contract, one that, interestingly, depended on a recommendation Sarah had made months earlier, which had been ignored until now. It wasn't magic. It was alignment. And then Sarah understood. It wasn't the thread making it happen. It was her. It was the energy she activated when she gave permission for the invisible to act. That once disillusioned, tired, skeptical woman awakened a new version of herself, a version that no longer waited for the world, but engaged with it. Today, Sarah doesn't talk about the ritual as something miraculous. She speaks as someone who discovered a forgotten technology, the technology of intention, of conscious action, of an activated symbol. And every time she meets someone who's lost, overwhelmed, exhausted, she hands them a red thread and says one simple phrase: "Place this under your pillow and sleep as if the universe is working for you." Because deep down she knows it is. This is the object. No precious stones, rare artifacts, or complex tools. Just a thread, red, cotton, simple, direct, and absolutely powerful when activated the right way. You might be thinking, is that it? And I get it, because our brains have been trained to believe that transformation has to be big, complicated, hard to access. But in ancient spirituality, the simpler it is, the more direct the channel to the invisible. The red thread carries 3 hidden codes. Color: red symbolizes life force, energy in motion, pulsing blood. It cuts through energetic blocks like a silent blade. Form: a thread is a line. A line is a path, a connection between points. It represents the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. Function: when activated with intention, the thread becomes a shield against dense vibrations and a magnet for what's vibrating at the frequency of abundance. The most curious thing is, it starts working when you stop. You don't need to fight or chase, just prepare the space, give the right command, and let it work while you sleep. This thread might seem fragile, but it's like the seed of an ancient tree, small on the outside, infinite within, and it's with this thread that you'll begin your ritual. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. There's no rush now. Right now, you are exactly where you're meant to be. If you made it this far, it's not by accident. There's a part of you, maybe small, maybe silenced, that wants something more. Something beyond logic. Something beyond struggle. Something that simply works. Before taking the next steps, you don't need to prepare the object, but the field. And the most powerful field that exists isn't outside of you. It's there, between your thoughts and your chest. Close your eyes for a few seconds, if you can, and answer silently, what do you truly want to attract? Forget what the world expects. Forget what you were taught to want. Come back to yourself. What is the desire that truly pulses within? Maybe it's more money. Maybe it's emotional lightness. Maybe it's a chance to start over with dignity. Or maybe it's just sleeping without that weight on your chest. You know, you feel it. Now, visualize. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing something has shifted. You don't know exactly what, but you feel it. Your body feels lighter, your heart calmer, your mind quiet but alert. You pick up your phone and see an unexpected notification. You open your email and find a message you've been waiting months for. Or maybe it's a simple gesture from someone who once felt distant, now suddenly close. These are the signs. They come subtly, and only those who are ready will recognize them. This is where psychological preparation comes in. Because the ritual you're about to perform isn't mechanical. It doesn't work on autopilot. It's an energetic agreement between your desire and the invisible field that connects everything. And that field responds to one thing: intention. Science calls it selective attention focus. When you declare to your brain what you want, it starts filtering reality based on that command. What once felt like coincidence now reveals itself as opportunity. What was once invisible now manifests. But here's the most important detail. The universe doesn't respond to what you ask for in fear. It responds to what you declare with presence. So now, with your eyes open or closed, make a choice. Clear, sincere, director. Formulate a sentence in your mind, your way, as if it has already happened. Examples? I am financially free. My energy attracts abundance with ease. What is mine is coming to me now. I deserve. I receive. I am grateful. Repeat the phrase a few times, effortlessly, Let it vibrate within you. You don't have to believe 100%. You just need to allow it to exist. This activates a principle called emotional reprogramming, where the body begins to get used to the feeling of what hasn't arrived yet. And when that happens, your vibration shifts, your communication shifts, your energetic field aligns with what you've declared. And here's the secret. Everything that vibrates in harmony finds each other. So before you pick up the thread, before you tie the first knot, before you place anything under your pillow, you need to align your compass, because the universe doesn't respond to doubt. It responds to clarity. And when your mind, your body, and your intention are all pointing in the same direction, the doors open on their own. Now you're ready. Now that you've aligned your mind and planted your intention, it's time to activate the ritual. But pay attention. What I'm going to show you isn't just a set of mechanical steps. Every movement, every gesture is a silent command to the invisible. You're not just tying a thread. You're rewriting an energetic path. Let's begin. Step 1. Take a piece of red thread made of pure cotton. Material matters. Cotton is natural, alive, and a conductor of subtle energy. And red? It's not random. It represents movement, fire, the force of action. In color psychology, red is the awakener. It doesn't wait. It activates. Hold the thread in your hands and take a deep breath. Feel its texture. Imagine it's more than just fabric. It is the bridge between the visible world and what's ready to emerge. Step 2. Tie 3 knots. But don't just tie for the sake of tying. Each knot is a silent declaration, an energetic decision. You're sealing contracts with the universe. As you tie the first knot, say mentally, I release all energies that block my prosperity. This is the knot of cleansing. You are undoing what holds you back, closing cycles that no longer serve you. For the second knot, declare, I activate the energy of abundance in my life. This is the knot of calling in. You are drawing closer everything that is already yours by right. The money that circulates, the opportunities that bloom, the recognition that finds you. For the third knot, say, I open my paths with ease and confidence. Here, you're not asking. You're giving permission. This is the knot of allowance. Life begins to flow when you stop resisting. 3 knots, 3 commands, 3 gateways. In ancient symbolism, the number 3 represents body, mind, and spirit. It's the Trinity of manifestation. Step 3. Place the thread under your pillow. This detail may seem simple, but here's the secret. During sleep, your conscious mind rests, and the unconscious takes the wheel. And the thread down there isn't just placed. It's vibrating with your intention. It's a reminder to your subconscious mind. You are being guided. While you rest, the thread works. While you dream, the universe moves. Step 4. Repeat for 7 consecutive nights. You can change the thread each week or keep the same one as long as your intention stays alive. But why 7 nights? 7 is the number of cycles, of moon phases, of the days of creation. It's the amount of time needed for a frequency to settle in the subtle field. In 7 days, your vibration begins to shift. Here's an important reminder. Even if nothing seems to be happening in the first few days, don't stop, because sometimes the change starts where you can't see it, in how you feel, in how you respond, in the clarity that begins to surface. And that in itself is already the seed of abundance. Now that the ritual has been revealed, something within you has already started to move. And believe me, you didn't finish watching this video by accident. You were called by something greater, and this thread is just the beginning. Now that you know how to activate the ritual, I want you to do something simple, yet powerful. Write in the comments with all the words, "My desire is," and complete it with what you truly want to attract. Don't filter. Don't shrink it down. Don't edit it to please others. Declare it with truth. When you write, you materialize. When you share, you expand. And when others read it, your intention is strengthened by the collective field. This is not just a comment. It's your seed cast into the universe, and it is listening. Everything is energy. That phrase, which might sound abstract, hides the most concrete reality there is. Every thought you had today generated a vibration. Every word you spoke shaped the field around you. Every choice, every silence, every repressed or expressed desire moved something invisible. And what the red thread ritual does is align you with that forgotten truth. When you hold the thread, when you tie the knots, when you place it under your pillow, you're not just following a set of instructions. You're silently saying to the universe, "I am stepping into my role as co-creator of my reality." Most people live as spectators, waiting for luck to change, for someone to fix it, for chance, out of mercy, to finally smile upon them. But you are awakening something different. You are crossing the invisible line between waiting and activating. And maybe now you realize the thread was never the centerpiece. The real magical object has always been you. The thread is just a physical reminder, an anchor, a mirror. When you touch it, you're touching your own ability to direct, to decide, to create a new narrative. And when you sleep with it under your pillow, it's like you're telling the universe in silence While my body rests, my soul works. The beauty of this ritual is in its simplicity, but the power lies in the intention, because intention is an energetic technology. It's a kind of subtle code the universe instantly understands. And here's something deep. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried and been disappointed. It doesn't matter how many promises were made to you and broken. It doesn't matter how long you waited for someone or something to save you. What matters is that you've started. Now, here. And from this point on, there's no turning back. Because once you awaken, living on autopilot stops making sense. You may still face challenges. We all do. But now, something has shifted. You have tools. You have clarity. You have presence. And every time you feel doubt, fear, or exhaustion, remember, there is a thread between you and everything that's already waiting for you on the other side of your decision. This thread is invisible, but you feel it because now it's activated. If this ritual spoke to your soul, not your mind, but what pulses within, then write in the comments now. I am ready to receive all good fortune, day and night. This phrase is more than words. It's a portal, an energetic signature that declares, I am available for the flow. And if someone came to your mind while watching this, someone you love, who's in need of light, guidance, or hope, share this video with them. Because when you offer this knowledge to another, the universe understands. You're not just asking, you're multiplying. And if you want to keep receiving rituals, teachings, and codes like this, subscribe to the channel now and turn on the bell. Our next meeting could be your next miracle. Take a deep breath. There's nothing else you need to figure out right now. What needed to be said has been said. What needed to be felt is already in motion. But take this with you. Abundance is not a random gift. It's not a privilege for a few. It doesn't depend on luck or perfect timing or anyone's permission. Abundance is a response to an inner decision, to conscious repetition, to a simple gesture made with deep intention. The red thread was just the beginning, the key, the symbol, but the real channel is you. You who chose to find meaning where others see superstition. You who chose to feel where many only react. You who made it here, not by accident, but because something within you was already ready to begin. And now that it has begun, you don't need to rush. You don't need to force. You only need to trust. And keep going. The energy is already in motion, and it doesn't turn back.